basically it was just a pine box, you know. It wasn't elaborate or a real elaborate casket or anything. It's just a box. But it had been used on, I was told, to ship a body one time. And yeah, so, and they said they had a nose print on it. I never got to see it. Well, we got ready to go one time, and we were in makeup, and the coffin was gone. Couldn't find the coffin. What are we going to do?
As I recall hearing the story from some of the old timers at the station back then, somebody came down from upstairs and said that they didn't like the way the studio floor looked, and that the floor needed a new coat of wax and to be buffed all up and look nice again. So they had to empty out the entire studio to be able to do this. Well, they did this earlier in the afternoon, on a Friday afternoon. So they had to empty all the contents out of the studio onto the parking lot. So the floor could be made completely bare so the janitorial staff could go in and mop it and wax it and buff it all out. Well, this took several hours to do this. So here's all the contents of the studio, news anchor desk, you know, the shock theater coffin and so forth, sitting out in the parking lot. Well, now they're starting to take all the stuff out in the parking lot and go put it back into the studio to get ready to do shock theater that night. So they start hauling all the stuff back in and realize the coffin's gone. So like, for the way I heard it from the old timers, just about the entire staff was sent out to comb the entire area of Buckrow Beach out there looking for the shock theater coffin.
So we were going around. Here I am in full makeup, going around knocking on doors. Have you seen my coffin? And then we found out that some kids had gotten it.
Well, these three teenagers who lived in the area of Buckrow saw the coffin sitting out there, so they went and grabbed the coffin and took it across the street to the Buckrow Shopping Center and were selling, and made it the sign put on it, sit in the Ronald coffin for $0.25. And they had gathered all these people over at Buckrow Shopping Center, were waiting in lines and in turns and giving these three teenagers, young teenagers, 25 cents a pop to be able to sit into the Ronald coffin.
And we're charging kids 25 cents to get in and out of the coffin. So that saved the show. But can you imagine that? That's bizarre, but that's a memory we always laughed about.